This is information to augment the fact sheets you've already been provided on Mr. Ward. This gets into some of the more specific details about these conducts and offenses that have been weighted in the ultimate risk level assessment and assignment process. In 1986, Mr. Ward was convicted of an attempted criminal sexual conduct fourth degree out of Blue Earth County for a 1985 offense. This offense included criminal sexual contact against an adult female whom he did not know. Mr. Ward was able to access this victim by approaching her as she began a bike ride on a trail system. As she passed, he had made some sexual advances and ultimately blocked her path of travel while touching himself inappropriately. He then grabbed at the victim and pulled on her clothing as she then ran up to an adjacent roadway where she was able to flag down a car that offered additional assistance. And for this crime, Mr. Ward was convicted of a year and a day commitment to the Commissioner of Corrections. Now, in 1986, we did not have the Predatory Offender Registry and we did not have risk assessments and assignments. And this would have been the lowest available conviction time frame for a felony level. So anything a year under is a gross misdemeanor or below. Anything a year or over is a felony level, hence the year and a day. And with determinate sentencing, the individual is to serve 2/3 of that sentence in the institution by law and 1/3 in the community on supervised release. And that is how that sentence was run. In 1990, Mr. Ward was convicted of a misdemeanor indecent exposure out of Blue Earth County. Unfortunately, due to this time frame, a lot of record keeping was going from paper over to electronic, and a great amount of detail to this particular offense is not available to us. However, we know of the conviction, and we know of this general information, and so it was ultimately considered and weighted in that ultimate risk level assessment and assignment. In 1996, Mr. Ward was again convicted of indecent exposure in Blue Earth County. This time, he engaged in this criminal conduct toward a 19-year-old female adult whom he was acquainted with. He used that relationship that just kind of led to comfort and a knowing where she was in the same home as him without an issue. Unfortunately, he took advantage of that comfort and exploited that trust and exposed himself to this woman. And she was able to contact her support network and get assistance right away. And for this crime, he was convicted of a gross misdemeanor. And so, again, not felony level. So it would have been county level supervision, fines, fees, and jail time. And that sentence too has expired. And then in 1996 as well, for a 1995 incident, Mr. Ward was convicted of a criminal sexual conduct in the second degree out of Scott County. This offense focused his criminal conduct against a 7-year-old female child. He was known to this victim. He had established a relationship to the point where he was given or granted unmonitored access to the child and would be placed in care of the child. And so that's the level of trust he had built and established with this child's adult support network system. And ultimately, he used the child's confusion and coercive efforts to include some physical force moving the child in an attempt to maintain that control. And ultimately, once his conduct and behavior became known to that trusted adult support network, he was brought to the attention of law enforcement. And for this crime, now we have the registry online. We have all of those other state risk management system components in place. He receives a 34-month commit with a 10-year conditional release period, so that extends that final third of supervised release for 10 years. He was initially stayed, meaning he did not enter the prison system right away on this file, was granted a period of probation where he would have been one of those registrants with no risk level assigned. But ultimately, that stay was vacated and his sentence was executed, and he crossed the threshold of our state prison systems and was assessed and assigned as a risk level 3 as a result. And so his prison chronology breaks down as when he enters in 2011, when that criminal sexual conduct second degree out of Scott County was executed. Again, assessed and assigned the risk level 3 and placed onto intensive supervised release at that final third of that sentence, and re-entered the community in March of 2012. And he's been in and around the community since then and will be moving to the Savage area on October 1st of this year. In summation, Mr. Ward will be under correctional supervision until January 29th of 2023, at which point he will expire and his rights will be restored to him with the exception of the registry. He will be subject to the registry until March 6th of 2026.